Hello, guys. This is Josiah again on Each One Teach One. Today, I'm going to start off from where I stopped the last time when I was talking about what is going on in America at this time. I know everyone have heard and experienced everything that's going on, and the question remains: why are we experiencing all these, and why does a particular group have to experience so much? History has shown that many times, not once, that other groups had experienced terrible or traumatic, have had traumatic experiences. However, it's not to the extent where a group of people like the black people are having them. So now, before I move forward, I would like to put in a disclaimer there. The disclaimer there is very simple that what I'm saying right now does not reflect anything about any organization that I'm affiliated with, only for educational purposes. And I am gonna deliberate and disburse information that I believe will be helpful in making quite a few number of people to understand the situation of things. So there's an impasse in the system here. It simply means that the the status quo has grown so much in knowledge, etc., and etc., that um, is coming, is up to the brink, and is about to, you know, take that little curve, inflection, if you would like to have it. So the point is very simple: that something is happening, and how can we offset what is happening so that we can have a soft landing, or we can have rather experience quite different scenario from what is happening, from what we have seen so far. So I know parents currently do teach their male children, especially when they are blacks, to act a certain way and behave a certain way before the law enforcement, and also before every other person. And all these things are nice, good, and dandy. And some people might think it's because they have a chip on their shoulders, but it's simply because they want their children to come home safe. So these are some of the ramifications of what is going on. And with that being said, the people that live here, like myself, African Americans, or those I like to call everyone African, and I'll say that we're all Africans, but we're separated by time of our existence in this hemisphere. So that's simply that. So there's no more division. Encouraging division makes things worse, and it sabotages the activist notation that's it's already there. So now there's nothing wrong with somebody who is drowning to kind of try to grab something so that they can remain balanced, if not drift away. So in this case, there are steps that need to be taken for this existence that is going south real quick to be reneged. We have to do something to kind of save it, salvage it. Sorry, I meant to say salvage. So to salvage the situation. Okay, so we have to even take it a step, take it one more step up by inculcating in the children what they need to know about who they are, where they're from, and their background, and etc. and etc. So if we do not do that, we will run into a very serious situation where not only do we not know the background, our roots, or those that know are trying to cut themselves, they're trying to cut the branches away from the root, and those that don't even know have no clue, and they're not working hard enough to do something about it. So the question is, what are you doing for your own peace of mind, for your own salvation, for your own existence here, peaceful existence in a hostile environment? So a hostile environment could be a place of work, it could be your neighborhood, it could be anywhere. But what I meant to say, what I really meant by that Is what are you doing to be agreeable with everybody else? What are you doing to do so? I know there are people that begrudge you, that wouldn't want the best for you, and it's being shown time and time again. Is systemic, or you can call it systematic, whichever word that you would like to use to describe it. It exists, and people know this. Many various groups who are sincere and honest have spoken about it many times. It's not it's not something new. It's not new at all. So with that being said, so what can we do as a people to enhance the situation of things? I've heard many people say about to have to carry gun and have gun for defense and do all that kind of stuff. But I really think that what is going on has pretty much surpassed the power of the bullet, and I think is more like the power of the mind. Because when you know yourself, if you know yourself, you can solve many problems that you face. So those who discipline themselves can teach themselves, okay? And those who can control what they say, what they anything about them that identifies them, those who can control that could possibly control their future. So so with that being said, it is quite clear for you to start to understand where I'm going with this. So for us, we need to be practices of the 6 P's. I've explained the 6 P's many times over, but then Dr. Williams was saying something closely related to that: the need to have economic consequences when situations happens, because your purchasing power, the greenback, the power that comes from the greenback, actually asserts your political power or your political say so. Pretty much, it's all about money, the greenback. So how can a people become independent and self-reliant, that they have the proclivity to provide not only for themselves but to strategically have reserves for the future, for their children, etc., and etc. So it is simple and raw to spend and keep the money in and within your community. As simple as that. So once you do that, the money stays in your community. And not only are you dignified in action, you also have the power, the financial power to bring about consequences when people try to do circumvent the system or try to molest, abuse, and try to look down on that group of people. So Dr. Williams expressed that, and he had many ways of expressing it, and he said many interesting things. In my perspective, I buy into those ideas. However, I do not support anything that's related to violence or that will cost another man's life in any case. So, a life lost is not equal to another life lost. The way I look at it is people in oppression has to have a way to express that they are being oppressed. So, if I step on your foot, there are two things you can do. You can step back on my foot, or you can say, "Hey, you're stepping on my foot. Can you move your foot?" And I'll move my foot. But the initial instance, you probably will be, very mad or aggressive about it, which can trigger, if it's in an uncontrolled mind, you could trigger violence, which means you're gonna turn around and step on my foot or do something worse than stepping on my foot. So with that being said, now you see that there's a solution to any situation. So if we practice the 6 P's, which means that we have to produce, we have to promote, we have to patronize our people, our person, our product. You see, these are 6 P's. Yeah, it has production there, it has a product there, it have patronize, promote. See, you have personal and people. These are the 6 P's practices. So many educated and informed people have many ways of saying it or looking at it. However, we do know that 1 plus 1 is always going to be equal to 2, unless you live in a different planet. That, with that being said, regardless of what anybody tells you, regardless of what people think we should be doing as a people, you must know that the peace comes from inside. If peace comes from inside, Being a dignified human being have to come from inside. So we have to build that. If a system is oppressing one have to have an open mind, remain optimistic, and produce for itself. Create opportunities for yourself. This is COVID-19 era. A lot of people were making masks. A lot of people turned out to be doing all sort of stuff. Some people created other opportunities in various other places. Some people even came up with good business ideas. And now the black people are calling for July 7th, the day that they will, kind of demonstrate their economic power. I mean, their purchasing power, as opposed to the what is being experienced in the society today. They wanted to make a statement. It's not a fashion statement, it's a social statement. They want to demonstrate that you can't be doing this stuff. We're going to pool our resources. They've already pulled resources from the bank, and now they want to, support the businesses. This is what could have been done a long time ago. It doesn't require George Floyd for it to be done. It would have been done a long time ago, and that would have avoided most of the problem we're having now. Okay, so moving forward. Now, with this rise in initiative, group initiative, or group economy, there's going to be a rise in services. There's going to be rise in services, rise in many things. Okay, there's going to be innovation coming out of it. So when the resources are pulled away from where it used to be to a new place, it's going to require some kind of infrastructure to accommodate that. So my suggestion is, for many of us who are out there that are intelligent and smart, that understand marketing, customer service, and the rest of it, this is the time to write books. Okay, tell our tours this new emerging economy that will come after that. So with COVID-19, what COVID-19 taught, what it taught a lot of people is that each is on their own. Basically, for black people, nobody loves you. Therefore, you have to start producing and building platforms for yourself. So now the businesses are gonna go back to all these black folks, left, right, center. But the customer service have to be addressed. If not, you're gonna run off these people, the new market that's coming. So this is the time for those of you who write to come up with new ways of doing things. And now remember, all these transactions are gonna be happening on with the practice of social distancing in view. So that means we're gonna be on a video conference a lot more than ever after this and in the future. So there need to be a direction in the customer service provision. Also, the books should address how customer service should be handled in an era like this and moving forward, and especially for a particular group as black people. So these are avenues, and as you all know, this will pretty much bring rise in sales as well, and there will be people in the area, there will be people in marketing, there will be people in hotel industry, there will be people in you name it, restaurant business. There will be people in all sort of stuff. But there's also another area that we should be looking into carefully. We should look into the technology aspect of things carefully. Now is the time for us to start building platforms. I know each time I talk, I have to find a way to bring technology into the mix, because that's what I do and that's how I see the one I understand things. So I like to bring that into perspective, that this is an opportunity for that technology to rise. So what I call a piece of technology coming out of the supposedly the unexpected corners, and these kind of innovations can change lives. And I encourage people to look into supporting those that are technology builders and see what we can do to make sure they keep building new things. And these new things will become uh, um, um, they become they become an option to humanity. They're unparalleled to the status quo, what is already there, and they are option to humanity, because humanity is charged to take care of itself. Therefore, any groups and their effort is needed. Any group and their efforts, any group and their effort will be needed. Okay, so if you take out a group out of the equation, then therefore that technology will be absent of that particular ingenuity. And we see it all day, we see it in everything. That is why one can actually say that there's bias in most of the technology that we have today, and as well as bias in the sciences that come up, they came from. So if you can rise up to the table and take charge and be a part of something big, it's a great opportunity. We are living in a precarious time. These are trying times, difficult, hard to deal with, and you have to understand what is needed here. You have to think back and look at the brainwashing and conditioning tactics that's being used on you that never allowed you to go beyond your horizon and do things that you've always wanted to do. You have an opportunity to invest in all those things that you wanted to do. Be productive. Don't waste your time, because time wasted can never come back. You can't turn the hand of time. So time is continuous. I've already talked about it a long time ago. So I encourage you to look at opportunities and avenues that you can use. You can use them to showcase your skill sets, and you can. This is the time for you to learn. The smarter ones amongst us should come up with programs that allows people to learn new skills. And in each one, teach one, we are addressing the cloud, the demand for cloud practitioners. We are taking our time to freely teach people on the cloud, and eventually get a lot of the females and the men to be a part of the program. I'm gonna cut this short. I had no plan to make it go longer than what it is right now, and I really appreciate you guys listening to what I have to say one more time. There will not be any LinkedIn highlight. We have been very busy working hard to bring the products that we promised to you guys, and we'll continue working hard. And these are some of the moments that I have with you guys to kind of share things with you, to incite you, so that I can pick your interest. As you guys well know, at each one teach one, what we do is we bridge the gap between the mentor and the mentees in the continent, and we encourage, train, educate, and give gainful employment to the youths, the teeming youths in the continent. That's the way of us giving back. And we do thank Lockdown LLC for the support that we see from them. And we also thank you for being here with us and listening to what I have to say. We only ask that you share the link and push the like button so that we can get the likes up. That's the only way we can keep pushing videos and keep streaming. I know I've been sparingly streaming, and I'll increase the quota as soon as we finish some of the product that we have. We encourage you to use our product, because if you don't use it, nobody will. Who's gonna use your stuff if not you? So it's just about it. And if you're a new subscriber, go ahead and hit the notification bell so that every time that we push one of these out, you will get them. And we only encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and keep listening in and making the necessary changes. Okay? Thank you very much. This is Josiah signing off on each one, teach one. Take care.